microphone over to our music director, Jonathan Cohler. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jeremy. So we put together a short program for you, and it combines a bunch of different styles. So I'll tell you a little bit about the music. We have a piece by Schubert, a piece by Meyer Kupferman, who's a composer, passed away now from New York. Another composer from Dallas, Texas originally, Simon Sargon, and the last piece is by Paquito, a famous jazz artist. I'll tell you more about all of them. And I'll just introduce our musicians today. So I think you have in your program the bios of all the performers. And I remember Benjamin and Franklin, whom I've met several times, who are the sons of Willie Soon, so they both have last name Soon. And Franklin is a 10th grade trumpet player who just got into the best youth orchestra in Boston, called the Boston Symphony Orchestra, Rep Orchestra, and in the 10th grade, which is very impressive. And Benjamin just finished his first year in college and is studying to be a history major, right? And you're also going to get to see in a few minutes the video that he produced and made, which is going to be kind of cool. And then our pianist is Esequiel Meza, Jr., who goes by Zeke, so that's easy to remember. And Zeke is the principal pianist vocal coach for Opera UTEP, they call it UTEP around here, I guess, since 2016, so for a long time. And he's performed as a guest soloist with various orchestras, in Corpus Christi, the Juarez Binational Symphony, and all over the place. And he's also the Assistant Dean of Fine Arts at the University of Bordeaux, Oklahoma. Yeah, in Oklahoma. And, oh, and also at a university in France. He's in Oklahoma and France. So Zeke and I just met yesterday, the day before yesterday. We just met for the first time. When Willie told me he wanted me to put together a music program here, I said, well, I have to get a pianist in the area. So I sent out a post on my Facebook page and said, who knows a great pianist in El Paso? And this is the great pianist in El Paso. So the piece we're going to play for you, is the first one, is by Schubert, who was known as sort of the great composer of vocal music. But he also wrote symphonies and chamber music and whole bunches of stuff, all before the time he was 38 when he died. He died like Mozart, extremely young. And this was his only opera, but the opera is rarely performed. I don't even know if it was performed during his life. But this piece, which is the Entr'acte No. 3, so it's the piece played in between the two acts. It's called Entr'acte No. 3 by Schubert, is the most famous of his orchestral, or one of the most famous of his orchestral pieces. And so we're going to play it in this arrangement, which was originally written for flute, oboe, clarinet, and piano. And we have Benjamin playing the flute part. We have Franklin playing the oboe part on what's a piccolo trumpet. You may not have ever seen it. Show them the instrument. It's like a baby trumpet. Okay? So it plays way up high. And he's playing and I'm just playing the clarinet, and Zeke is playing the piano. But so this is the Entr'acte of Rosamunde, No. 3, by Franz Schubert.
Yeah.
How do you know a politician is lying? His lips are
let's see. There's a bottom lever.
Yeah.
How I turned guys in this way back a couple of decades ago was that the Americans.
Okay.
Let's see. You have to turn it on.
Okay.
Very good.
It's got a green light.
Okay. Give it a shot.
Hello?
Yeah. It's on.
Okay. Now the next piece changes the mood quite a bit. And it's a piece with a very strange name. It's called Moonflowers, Baby. And it was written by a friend of mine, Meyer Kupferman, who passed away several years ago. He was a famous composer, wrote zillions of music, operas, everything. And he wrote this piece way back in 1986 for a colleague of mine, Richard Stoltzman, who never played it because I think he thought it was too difficult. But anyhow, I came along and recorded it in 1991 or 2. And that recording became very popular among clarinetists. And by the way, it's on one of my CDs out there. And it is what he invented this thing called atonal jazz, which is kind of weird because jazz is all about harmony, and atonal means not with a harmony. But it is atonal jazz, so it's in the jazz style, and he thought of it as being the way Benny Goodman played, if you've heard of Benny Goodman, the King of Swing. So, and does anybody know what a moonflower is? Oh. You do? Yeah.
They open at night.
Well, how did you know that? Just
they're about spin around and they open at night and they're white.
So it actually exists?
Open at night.
That's interesting. So he told me that it was a flower that was so delicate and sensitive that it could bloom and survive from the moonlight alone. Oh, and so it actually exists. I thought it was a fictitious thing he made up. Oh, so now I just learned something new. So it's a real flower. So it's a flower that blooms in the moonlight at night, not in the daytime. So, and he wanted it to be very delicate. So it's a short piece, it's kind of jazzy, I think you'll enjoy it. So this is Moonflowers Baby by Meyer Kupferman.
I sometimes see yeah.
Oh, and I should say, it also, because it's a moonflower, at various places, in the beginning and the end, it's very, very soft. So if you want to be able to hear those notes, you have to be very, very quiet. Okay? Here we go.
Yeah. All right, please.
You know what? When I recorded that 33 years ago, and the reviews came out, they said I was superhuman. It's a lot more difficult when you're 65.
I believe. Yes.
A lot harder when you're 65. Okay. Then the next piece is a piece called Deep Ellum Nights. And it was written by another dear friend of mine who also just passed away last year, named Sargon. Very famous, especially for Jewish liturgical music. Wrote a lot of choral music. But he was an opera director and a pianist, much like Zeke, and taught in Dallas for many, many years and was a music director at a temple there. But he also wrote symphonic music, chamber music, and he wrote several pieces for clarinet. And this one, called Deep Ellum Nights, he wrote for me for a festival where we played it together in 1991. And it's about a place in Dallas. Is anybody here from Dallas, Texas? Yes. So have you heard of Deep Ellum?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So in New Orleans, you have Bourbon Street, right, where all the clubs are, and the nightclubs and music and fun bars and things. In Dallas, long ago, they had Elm Street, which is, I gather, been built over by highways and stuff now. But the Elm Street area was called locally Deep Ellum. And so he named it after that, and there's 3 movements, each a character piece on different places that existed in Deep Ellum. So the last one is a ragtime. We're going to play the second one for you, which is called Quiet and Easy. The first movement is called Dark and Smoky. So not your traditional allegro moderato markings, right? So dark, smoky. We're playing Quiet and Easy, which is kind of a blues drag, if you want to describe it. So, but think of, if you know Dallas, think of Dallas Deep Ellum as we play this. Simon Sargon. Our last piece. Is it on? Yeah. Our last piece is by a dear friend of mine, Paquito de Rivera, who some of you might know. He's a 15-time or 16-time Latin Grammy Award winner, and a great clarinetist, saxophone player, musician, person, all of those things. He's a fabulous guy. I've known him for decades. We've played together, and this is a piece called Vals Venezolano that he wrote as part of a group of other pieces in honor of composers in different Latin American countries. So this one is particularly Vals Venezolano, Venezuelan Waltz, in honor of, I believe, Antonio Lauro, who is the famous Venezuelan composer of the waltz, the most famous one. And so we're going to play that for you. It's Vals Venezolano by Paquito de Rivera, and that will be our last piece. And if you'd like to dance, you're welcome to dance.
Yeah.